Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's the Wyoming Guy and you're watching the Wyoming Guy Show, and this week is the Week 5 preview for Wyoming High School football. But first, I gotta show you guys something. Look at this sweater that Varsity Eden sent me. Look at that. That is sweet. And on the back, it says, hold the rope. Then I got a shirt too that I got. It says the exact same thing. And I bought these from them, by the way, and they, I didn't know what they looked like because there was no website. I was just talking to them, and when I ordered them, and so I got them today, and it was a big surprise. So that was very exciting. And I've had people message me before asking if they could send me stuff, and that's fine. I don't care. Just DM me privately on my Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. Because I don't want to put my address out there publicly. But if you wanted to send me something to wear in like one of these videos or to wear on one of my adventures, that's just fine. Just make sure you message me privately. Anyway, it's time to get down to business. This is a big week for Wyoming High School football due to the fact that most of the rankings, most of the conference standings are going to be decided this week. And of course, we'll start with the six-man West. Varsity Eden versus Matitsi. Matitsi is a very good offensively charged team, and they're going to be the toughest test that Varsity Eden will face all season. But I do feel that Varsity Eden will win that game by a score of 64-30. Little Snake River plays Riverside, and I feel like Little Snake River is going to win that game as well by a score of 48-12. You're going to notice I'm not going to do every single game. I'm only doing the big games from each conference and from each division of those conferences. Six-man East. Hannock Mountain's playing Normative Services. I watched Hannock Mountain play last week. I actually watched them play Lingle Fort Laramie. And they're a very good team. They have a very, very good offense. But I don't feel like they've been tested this year. And I think this is the week that they will be tested by the NSI Academy. The thing that Hannock Mountain does very, very well is they score a lot of points and they have a very excellent defense. NSI scores a lot of points, but they also allow a lot of points. So I feel like that's going to be their kryptonite this week, and I have Hannock Mountain winning by a score of 61-28. On to the 1A. I'll start with the 1A West, since there's not much going on this week. Cokeville plays the Green River JV. That game won't count towards their record in the conference. And Wind River will win by forfeit against Saratoga, and so they'll automatically get a win this week anyway. But the 1A East is where it's happening. This week, Upton Sundance plays Wright. Upton Sundance has played some very good teams this season, and I feel like they're going to get back on track this week against Wright by a score of 40-6. And then the game of the week, the game I'm actually going to in Pine Bluffs, Wyoming. Pine Bluffs versus Bighorn. Number 1 versus number 2, 4-0 versus 4-0. This is going to be a huge week. Last year, as you know, Pine Bluffs beat Bighorn twice, once in the regular season and then once in the state championship. And they are going to be the team that I'm going to be cheering for this week. But at the end of the day, I feel like Bighorn will win the day by a score of 38-8. Now on to 2A. Buffalo versus Moorcroft. Buffalo, as you know, they are doing extremely well this year, and I feel like this is going to be the week that they're going to be able to get back on track, and I have them beating Moorcroft by a score of 48-0. And then Glenrock versus Burns. I watched Glenrock play Wheatland. They are offensively charged, they're very hard off the ball, they are very quick, and they have a very hard-nosed defense. And I feel this week is going to be a very good week for them as well. I have them beating Burns by a score of 50-12. And then in the 2A West, Mountain View versus Pinedale. Mountain View's had one slip-up this year against, in my opinion, one of the better teams in 1A, Cokeville. But other than that, they've been flawless, doing an excellent job. And I feel like this is going to be a good recharge week for them against Pinedale, and I have them winning by a score of 40-7. And then Kemmer, my boys, they're playing Grable this week. Kemmer has an excellent team. The only issue that they have is they only have 20 players altogether. And so I feel like they would tire out quicker than other teams. They're 3-1 playing the 2-2 Grable, but at the end of the day, I have them losing to Grable by a score of 30-16. And on to 3A. Last week, I said Torrington, this is the 2A East, by the way. I had Torrington. I said I didn't think anybody was going to beat them. Then at the beginning of the week when I was compiling this list, I thought maybe Douglas could do it this week. But then at the end of the day, I thought, no. And I have Torrington winning by a score at 21-0. And then down to Douglas versus Rollins, or Warland versus Rollins. Warland versus Rollins. Rollins, I feel like they've played some tough games, and I actually have them beating Warland this week by a score at 26-7. Then to the 3A West. Evanston versus Cody is another pretty big game. I would put that as number 2 on my list of games that I'm going to be paying attention to this week. Cody is battle-tested. All right, they had a tough loss last week against the Jackson Bronx, who I feel are going to be making a run for the state championship this year. And like I said, they're battle-tested. They have a very good offense, and I feel like they are going to be too much for Evanston, and they are going to win by a score of 38-10. And then Jackson versus Green River. Jackson they've made such an incredible turnaround. They went from a huge losing streak to winning 4 in a row. And this week they play 1-3 Green River, and I have them winning by a score of 42-8. And then up to 4A. This is a big week for 4A due to the fact that the number 1 and number 3 team play each other, and the number 2 and number 4 team play each other. And that's going to be big because regardless of who wins and how the scores end up coming out, the standings are going to change. And so Thunder Basin versus Natrona. Natrona had a tough loss last week. You know, a few more points and it would have been a 5-0 versus 5-0. But last week they lost to Cheyenne East, and so this week they play Thunder Basin. Thunder Basin, I feel, is going to be playing for the state championship this year. And I have them beating Natrona County by a score of 28-14. And then down to the other game in 4A, Cheyenne East versus Laramie. Laramie's had a tough go this year, but they've won the games that they were supposed to win, and they've lost the games that they were probably supposed to lose. And this week they play a Cheyenne East team that is coming off a huge win last week versus Natrona. And due to that, I have Cheyenne East beating Laramie High School by a score of 38-12. And that's this week's Week 5 preview of Wyoming High School football. Tune in this Saturday when I do the Week 5 recap for Wyoming High School football. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Wyoming Guy, and you're watching the Wyoming Guy Show. Have a good day.